Hi guys, Ayla's here, and I have kind of taken a moment in our little playthrough here to clean up the neighborhood. I salvaged the furniture that had to be salvaged, kind of put everything else back in place, and I cleaned out all these broken houses. So I'm going to use this to show you some issues that people have been bringing up on Reddit and things like that with building and kind of how to get around them. I'm gonna go through here and go try to place a wall. Now, here's what a lot of people are doing. They're using these foundations that exist and they're just trying to stick a wall on here and it doesn't work. It's problematic. It makes it so you can't do your corners. This is the wrong way to do it. If you want to put up a structure, you need to place a floor first. Even if you're just using something like this where it's an existing flat foundation, the walls actually snap to the floor and the floor snaps to each other. Now, if you want to get these as straight as possible, you can right click and left click in order to move them around, and then you can fine tune it by moving your body left or right. But once you've got your first one down, the rest of them will kind of snap to it. And I'm going to go through here and just use up a big chunk of the foundation. It'll leave a little bit on the outside, but it's not a big deal. We're building a shack, not a mansion. In the same way with the floorboards, you can right click and left click and hold it a little bit to make them kind of switch positions and switch which way they're facing. Now for this, I'm going to add an upper floor, so I'm going to scrap out that. I shouldn't have put it down in the first place, but oh well. And I'm going to place one of these floors with the ladders in it. You can get separate ladders, but I think this is the easiest way to do it. Alright, and once you have that, it's time to go ahead and get started on the next part, which is those walls. Now these are the ones that allow for doors right there. So I'm going to place that right where the entrance to the house used to be. And as you can see, it actually snaps to the floor. Now the only thing you have to be careful of with the walls is that you do have a kind of defined inside and outside. And when you start putting on your roof, it'll make a difference. And if you're having problems where it's snapping instead of making a corner like that, just move your body a little bit until it recognizes that you're trying to snap to the other piece instead. And you can go around and do the entire building like this. If you're having trouble with the corners, put one in the middle and then put one off of it like that, so it has two different walls in different directions to kind of snap to, and it'll eventually figure out which one you're trying to put it on. All right, all finished up with the bottom floor. So we're gonna go ahead and show you how to not have a gap. Now, if I were to put that same floor that I used on the bottom up here on the top, what would happen is I'd have this several inch gap between the walls and that next layer. It looks really bad, so you cannot use this floor. You actually have to scroll over a little bit and look for the one that specifically says shack upper floor. This is actually a lot thicker than the ones that you use on the bottom. So it's going to cover up that space between the two layers. And for this build, I'm just kind of messing around with it. I'm not too worried about which way everything is facing. It's not a big deal. So I'm just kind of putting them down as it is, kind of messing with them, trying to straighten them up. I'll fix them all later. You can always pick these up with E and then put them back down if you're on PC. I don't know the buttons on console. You'll figure it out. Or you could, if you're not going to use them, instead of scrapping them like I shouldn't have done downstairs, you can just put them in your workshop to place them down later. And what I did on the bottom with the floor going up is repeatable. So if I wanted to come up on the second floor and try to make a third floor, it's the same as last time. Use that little stair floor and then use this shack upper floor to make your level. Now, whether you're using these wood walls or the metal walls, it doesn't really make a difference. These will work the exact same way every time as long as you've got that wooden floor. There's no metal floor yet. I'm hoping somebody will mod that in because there's a lot you could do with the metal flooring. Make it look like a vault, make it look like a military base. I think there's just tons of potential if anybody can figure out how to mod in building materials. That'll be great. And as you can see, I've got this second area here. making it nice and easy. Now I'm gonna put the roof on. There's a lot of different roof structures you can use. I like these plain flat ones because there's no obvious holes and gaps. And if I'm gonna be expecting people to sleep up here, I want it to be as secure as I can. Metal roofs work the exact same way. I like these wooden ones. I think they look pretty cool. At one point, I had used the one with the sheet over it just to make like a skylight. Um, but I don't think I'm gonna go with that this playthrough. And the roofs work similar where they all kind of snap to, just like a floor, as long as you have that initial structure underneath. And see, everything snapped together quite nicely and it's making sense and it's lining up. All that's left to do now is to add a front door, make it somewhat secure. I think I could do better than these little wooden doors, but they work. And now we have our basic home. It's not real fancy. There's no windows, nothing really special about it, but it will be functional enough for us to put some beds in it and kind of start getting everyone living here when we get into the settlement system in the playthrough. And I can't wait. I'm really happy with figuring out these little tips here. Tell me if there's anything that you've been struggling with the building system or anything that you would like to see added to the building system. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.